Good morning and welcome back to Children's Church. I am so excited to be able to celebrate Easter Sunday with you this morning. And whether you are right now in your pajamas or if you're dressed in your Sunday best, I hope that you're ready to hear more of the story, sing some songs, and learn something new. Come along. After Jesus had died, they took his body down off of the cross. And there was a man named Joseph of Arimathea, and he was a rather wealthy man who owned an empty tomb. This was a tomb where they would bury people after they had died. It belonged to his family. Kind of think of like a tiny cave that you could go inside. And so he took Jesus's body, placed it inside, and then they rolled a huge stone, a massive rock in front of the tomb where the opening was, and completely sealed it off so that nobody could get inside of it. And then, to really be cautious about it, because the Romans had heard that Jesus claimed that in 3 days he would rise again, they placed 2 Roman soldiers, or at least maybe more, in front of the tomb to stand guard so that nobody could come and steal the body away and pretend like Jesus had risen from the dead, right? They wanted to make sure that there was no way that people could run with that story. And there, Jesus' body lay all through the night on Friday night, and all day Saturday, and all night Saturday night. But on Sunday morning, something unthinkable happened. That next morning, the 12 disciples were nowhere to be found. But there were 2 women who decided to go to the tomb where Jesus' body had been laid. But when they got there, they had some very unexpected visitors. I'm reading from Matthew 28. It says, "Now after the Sabbath, toward the dawn of the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. And for fear of him, the guards trembled and became like dead men. But the angel said to the women, 'Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he has risen, as he said. Come and see the place where he lay.'" This is incredible. The tomb is empty, and Jesus is alive. Next week, we're going to hear more about how Jesus appeared to different people to show them that he had truly risen from the dead. But before we go any further, I want to remember why it was that Jesus came to earth and why he died on the cross, why he rose from the dead in the first place. Remember, it was because humanity had a problem, a sin problem. And I was hoping that you guys could help me remember what sin is.
Hey, Graham and Alec, what is sin?
Sin is not following God's rules. It's not being nice. It's being pure evil.
Sin is anything you think, say, or do that does not please God.
Sin is anything that I say, think, or do that does not please God.
Those were great answers. Sin is all the bad things that we do against God. And remember, the penalty or the punishment for our sin is really, really expensive. It's really, really costly. It's death, an eternal death, a separation from God. But Jesus came to the earth to pay that penalty for us. And when he rose back from the dead, he shows us that he has power over sin and power over death, and that he is who he says he was. He is God. And we can trust him with our lives. How incredible is that? I don't know about you, but this news makes me want to sing a song, so that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna sing a song that retells the Easter story from when Jesus was lying on a cross, seemingly having fallen to death. But we know how the story ends, an empty tomb. Let's sing this aloud. The moon and stars, they wept. The morning sun was dead. The Savior of the world was fallen. body on the cross, his blood poured out for us, the weight of every curse upon him. One final breath he gave, as heaven looked away, the Son of God was laid in darkness. Battle in the grave, the war on death was waged, the power of hell forever broken. The ground began to shake, the stone was rolled away. His perfect love could not be overcome. Now death, where is your sting? Our resurrected King has rendered you defeated. Forever he is glorified. Forever he is lifted high. Forever he is risen. He is alive. He is alive. The ground began to shake, the stone was rolled away. His perfect love could not be overcome. Now death, where is your sting? Our resurrected King has rendered you defeated. Forever he is glorified. Forever he is lifted high. Forever he is risen, and he is alive. He is alive. Forever he is glorified. Forever he is lifted high. Forever he is risen, and he is alive. He is alive. Woo! Amen. Before we end today, I want to teach you one last thing, and it's something that we often say at church every single year. When someone says to you, "He is risen," you reply by saying, "He is risen indeed." Let's try that now. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Amen. Well, if you want to get onto children's church next week, here's what I want you to do. Take a picture or a really short video, maybe like 10 seconds or less, that shows how you celebrated Easter this year from home. I'm sure there were some different celebrations happening inside your houses with everything going on, and I love to see it, and I'm sure that everybody else would love to see it too. As a matter of fact, I have some artwork to show right now that you guys submitted from last week. It was really incredible. So let's see that as we go out. And one last time, He is risen.
I cut a picture when Jesus rose from the dead.
Yeah, and what does it say at the top? Do you remember?
And it says He is risen.
He is risen indeed.